Furiosa!
George Miller's Furiosa, Mad Max saga, the latest film in the series, has received somewhat mixed reviews. But it does give audience the origins of the fearless young warrior woman, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, who would go on to become something of a feminist icon as portrayed by Charlize Theron in Mad Max, Fury Road, the director's much acclaimed film from 2015.
Remember me?
However, a psychological reading of the very first film in the franchise and those that followed may be seen as illustrations of the fragile nature of masculinity generally, and perhaps more surprisingly for many, the central role of the feminine across all the films.
Say it once, say it again, no excuse for violent acts.
When thousands across Australia have again marched in protest demanding an end to the epidemic of violence against women,
Men need to stand up and be counted.
perhaps it's time to seriously examine Mad Max and the entire series.
Stop killing women. Pretty straightforward.
Mad Max provoked a storm of outrage and hostility when it first roared onto the screens in 1979. Labelled extremely violent by many critics, it was even said to be lacking in any social value. There were cries for it to be banned. Following hard on the heels of the women's movement in Australia of the 1960s and 70s, the film depicted numerous scenes of male-to-male violence. A singular focus, though, was directed towards the scene where a woman and her baby were mown down by a gang of bikies. Few critics at the time asked what were the underlying reasons behind this behaviour, or later, for the violence depicted towards women throughout the series. Early in that film from 1979, the central character, Max Rokotansky, resigns from the police force after a violent incident with a half-crazed criminal in a car chase.
I'm scared, Thief. Look any longer out on that road and I'm one of them, you know? A terminal crazy. Only I got a bronze badge to say I'm one of the good guys.
Max rejects the patriarchal code of violence that surrounds him. Next shown resting with his wife and child in an Arcadian countryside, stripped of his black armour-like police leathers, a vulnerable-looking Max is seen trying to get in touch with his inner emotional self.
I don't want to wait 10 years to tell you how I'm feeling about you right now. Do you know?
But when his wife and child are killed, Max reverts to his baser instincts and descends into the madness of revenge and retribution.
Now, if you're lucky, you can hack through your ankle in 5 minutes. Go.
You're mad,
It's a journey that will finally leave him devoid of his humanity, as nothing but a burnt-out shell of a man. "30 years ago, Adam Jukes, a UK therapist working with London Men's Centre, wrote his book, Why Men Hate Women, and identified fear as an underlying rationale for some men's desire to have power and control over women. Unconsciously, these men fear the dependency of their own coexistent wish to return to the comfort and security of the mother figure on the one hand, alongside a fear of rejection and, even worse, engulfment by her on the other. This is compounded by the cultural imperative that little boys and young men must reject aspects of the feminine in their own identity and their progression towards manhood.
Your mother can't be with you anymore. Come, my son.
I I want to say it's the 3 scariest words that every man receives in his lifetime. To be a man. Stop acting that way. Stop with the tears. Stop with the emotions. Don't be some kind of mama's boy, some kind of sissy. Be a man.
This can put men at war with themselves.
If you can't stand up, you can't do war. High octane crazy blood filling me up. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die historic on the Fury Road.
The enemy within is then projected outwards onto the women in the world around them. Where the first film is deeply pessimistic, the second one, Mad Max, The Road Warrior, from 1983, gives cause for some hope and provides the hero with some positive role models of what it means to be a man. There, Max is shown entering a small community in the desert led by the father figure Papagello, invoking an expression used by 1970s Prime Minister Gough Whitlam, who gave many Australians cause to believe that change for the better was possible.
But remember one thing, that is more than just a tanker of gas. That is our lifeline to a place beyond that vermin on machines.
I'll be driving the tanker. We're going to crash or crash through.
Herbert Marcuse, in a 1977 BBC television interview with philosopher Brian McGee, spoke of the potential for a revolution that rejected the violence of a cruel and brutal patriarchal society.
All domination in recorded history up to date was patriarchal domination. So if we should indeed live to see not only a equality of the woman before the law or whatever it is, but the deployment of what is called the specific feminine qualities throughout the society. For example, non-violence, receptivity, tenderness. This would indeed be, or perhaps could be, the beginning of a qualitatively different society, the very antithesis to male domination with its violent and brutal character.
In Fury Road, Max Rokitansky finally comes to terms with the fierce warrior woman Furiosa. In a change of heart, Max enters into a partnership of equals, a personal integration of the masculine and the feminine, as he and Furiosa fight together to defeat the brutal dictator Immortan Joe.
It's Immortan Joe.
In the final scene, as Max disappears into the crowd to continue his journey of self-discovery in the desert, we see Furiosa and her band of warrior women being elevated on a platform to the heights of the Citadel, where we are left to imagine them creating a new world. It's time.